So right now I'm sitting in a place that I absolutely love to come to during the summer and just hang out and swim and tan. And I know it's not the most aesthetically pleasing place to come to, or doesn't look like it, but it's okay because I still love to come here. And it's also super bright out right now. Like, I can barely keep my eyes open. That's why I'm wearing my sunglasses, but that doesn't matter because what matters is the topic that I'm going to be talking about today. So today I'm going to be talking about something that a few people have requested that I do a video on, and that's how to get yourself through an anxiety attack, or everything you can to prevent one from happening. Now, I've had my fair share of anxiety attacks over the years, especially since a very young age, and I felt the need to want to make a video about it and talk about the things that I do to get through an anxiety attack, and basically allow myself to not be in a state where I feel like everything in the room is just completely blank and completely shut off. Now, before I start, I want to talk about the difference between an anxiety attack and a panic attack, because those are two completely different things. I know people like to think that they're the same thing, but they actually are not. So the main difference is an anxiety attack, it's usually caused by a specific trigger, whereas a panic attack, it just occurs unexpectedly, just out of the blue, out of nowhere. You don't plan on it to happen. There's really no specific reason it happens. It just sort of comes, and it sort of just stays there. And not just that, but an anxiety attack, it builds throughout intensity, and it's focused on specific stressors, meaning something or someone might be the big cause of why you're feeling it. And whereas a panic attack, it is, like I said, it's sudden, it's extremely disruptive, and it's basically triggered by the body's flight or fight response, meaning it's something in an instant. Something happens. It's your body's first instinct to either go into fight or flight mode, meaning you deal with it the proper way, or you feel like it's the worst thing on the entire planet, and you basically have no control over what's right in front of you. And when it comes to the symptoms of both, they're both relatively the same for the most part. There are some differences, but anxiety attacks, they can range from being mild to moderate or even severe symptoms, whereas panic attacks, it's mainly just all intense and all over-the-top symptoms. But just because they're two completely different things, I'm going to state the main ones that pretty much are the same. They're just usually predicated on different levels of what the situation is. Those symptoms include sweating, being dizzy or lightheaded, really nauseous, really upset stomach in the abdomen region, your heart's pounding a million miles a second, shortness of breath, and you feel like you're about to faint. And I know that a lot of people react to those types of things differently, but it's all still something that's very important to talk about. And right now I'm going to share some tips with you guys that I've done and that I've researched that have helped me get through anxiety attacks. So the first thing that I always do when I feel an anxiety attack coming along is I do this technique called grounding. And what grounding is it's a technique that helps you when you've gone too far in your own head and you pretty much lose control over your surroundings. It kind of helps you bring those surroundings back into your control, and you're able to control your breathing, basically. So what you'll want to do if you do that technique is you want to breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds and then out of your mouth for 7. And then once you do that, you want to slowly start bringing awareness back to the things that you lost control of, which is your sight, your touch, your hear, your smell, and then your feel. And then once you're able to do that, just manage to continue to control your breathing and really just make yourself aware that everything around you is still in your presence, and pretty much nothing is gone. And like I already said, I think that is one of the most important things that you can do, because people, when they have an anxiety attack, they have a tendency to, like I said, lose sight of everything, and everything feels like it's out of their control. And you really want to make sure that those types of things are in your control. And then once you get your breathing under control, the next thing that you'll want to do is recognize that you're only having an anxiety attack. By recognizing you're having one instead of a heart attack, you're going to be able to remind yourself that what you're feeling is only temporary, it will pass, and that real soon that you're going to be okay. And by simply doing that, it can allow you to focus on other techniques to reduce the symptoms that you're feeling. Another strategy that I like to do when I'm having an anxiety or even a panic attack actually is I like to find an object and completely focus on it. A lot of people, including myself, find it really helpful to find a single object to focus on during the event of an anxiety attack. So what you'll want to do is you'll pick out a single object that's in clear sight, no matter what it is. It could be a trash can, a tree, a clock, really anything, and consciously note every single little detail about it. So by that, I mean, say if it's a clock, you'll want to notice how the clock is spinning. Look at how the clock is spinning. Notice how one hand is bigger than the other hand. Notice each number on the clock. Notice the little minute marks that are in between each big asterisk, and the color of the clock, the shape of the clock. Just consciously note every single thing that you see about the clock, and it'll distract your mind from whatever is causing you to have that anxiety attack or panic attack. And I do that just about every single time I've fucking geese, shut the fuck up. And doing that, it's helped me calm myself down to back to a normal state of mind, and I'm able to feel a lot better after doing that. But if you don't feel like doing any other strategies that I just listed, probably one of the easiest and most attainable ones that you could do is simply just go somewhere and exercise. Go for a run, go for a walk even, go lift weights, do something very active, because by doing that, you're able to distract yourself when you're picking up dumbbells and doing a set of bicep curls or a bench press. You're able to distract yourself because you have to focus on everything that you'd focus on when you're working out, which is like technique and range of motion, etc., etc. But if you decide that you're just going to go for a walk or go for a run, throw on some calming music that helps you keep your anxiety and keeps your stress levels at an all-time low, and just let yourself be free your mind. And by doing that, you're able to release all the negative toxins that are in your body that are causing you to feel stressed out the way that you're feeling, or you're feeling anxious, or anything for that matter. And it doesn't have to be a panic attack or an anxiety attack or stress that you have to feel exercise. Just by doing that, just in general, can really help you feel a lot better overall. And studies have shown that it can decrease those levels substantially by simply just doing that. So I really highly recommend doing it if you're someone that doesn't like to exercise as much as others, or enough for that matter. Really consider doing that if you don't want to do any of the other things I just listed. I've always been a super active person since a very young age, and I've noticed that every single time that I've had a panic or anxiety attack, if I went on a run or if I went on a swim or lifted weights or anything like that, I just instantly felt that much better, and I was able to calm myself. And that's why I just feel super pushy about anyone that watches this video that doesn't do that, to do that, because it seriously helps so much, probably as much or even more than the other strategies that I've listed. But if none of those techniques are working for you, the last thing I recommend that you should also highly consider at the start is just go talk to your doctor about how you're feeling. You know, because doctors, they could really help you out with going the right type of route to what you're feeling, whether it's an anxiety attack or a panic attack or anything for that matter. Just go and talk to your doctor about it, because they can offer you lots of prescriptions that could potentially help with it. Like, I know that selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, I think I said that right, I don't know the drugs that well, or SSRIs. It's like a drug that helps you relax your muscles, or benzodiazepines. Those also are they help relax the muscles as well, and it's a good antidepressant for an anxiety attack. Don't 100% believe me on what I just said though, because I am not a prescribed doctor. I don't study drugs either. I don't know antidepressants as well as others, so do your research on those. But I do know for a fact that those can help. I just don't know the specifics of it. So again, ask your doctor about that as well. And going to therapy too. As I already said, going to therapy can really help a lot. I never really thought it was for me. I just thought like doing my passions and doing my hobbies helps me like control like those types of problems that I've had in the past and whatnot. But I know everybody is different, so definitely talk to your doctor about therapy as well. Find a therapist that specializes in talking about anxiety attacks and panic attacks, even just anxiety in general, and they can help you with that too. I highly recommend it. So definitely really consider that if none of the other options are the route for you. But regardless of what route you take, the important thing to always remember is that what you're feeling is only temporary, it is not permanent, and you will be okay. As I stated earlier in this video, I'm gonna emphasize that as much as I can. it is temporary and you will be okay, because it's just all in your head. Just do your best to try to calm yourself down and control your breathing. Those are the big things. And never forget that I am here for each and every one of you. If you ever need to reach out, I am going to leave my contact information down in the description, and I'd be happy to help anybody that watches this out as much as I can. I'll be here to talk to you and give you advice that I've personally experienced, that I overcame, to help with what you're feeling. And no matter what, I'm always here for you. And that's it for this video. Have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your night, and I will see you guys really soon. And keep in mind, you will be okay.